guys, just a quick one today as the market's not doing much really, doing kind of what we expected, but the stock markets are kind of treading water to off a little bit. Currency markets are also just treading water with the US dollar off a little bit, and commodities are a mixed bag, and no headlines really this week until maybe Wednesday night with these talking heads. But otherwise it's a pretty quiet week ahead of us, and the market's left to its own designs. Now, looking at stocks, we'll start here. We're seeing that it has tried to push higher, but is looking to close below Friday's low. That's the US stocks with 25 minutes to go. We can see that sort of similar pattern across the board where we've got a higher high, but it's closing towards the bottom end of its range. Doesn't mean we need to be a seller just yet. You want to see one that's coming off a resistance level, which it isn't really. There's a major resistance there for the S&P. 50 fib is here, but you know, this is the zone. This area here would be the major resistance area. So it's not coming off that yet. However, if you do get another seller bar, then you know, there might be an opportunity to short the US 500, but it's in reality it's not much of a day or a bar to consider jumping into the market just yet. But that dead cat bounce has the potential to be failing and looking to fade it from here. Let's go through the commodity markets. Energy markets seem to be rallying again, and as we can see across there, copper, you know, the economic indicator, pretty much trading unchanged, and precious metals also pretty much not doing anything really, but it's the energy market that is pushing higher. We go into the soft commodities, the breadbasket, and we're getting weakness across the board, or ambivalence, but it seems to be more weaker than anything else, and that's feeding through into our Aussie dollar, which is a little weaker, and US dollar getting close to our zone. I'll talk about that in a minute. Yen is weaker, as we were discussing yesterday. Pound surprisingly not doing much, or unsurprisingly, with the economic conditions that they're in and the political scene that's happening. I'm not surprised to see that there. I'm just going to quickly have a look at the yen pairs, because we were talking about this yesterday, and this is the one that I was potentially looking at, which is the loonie v the yen. And when we're looking to trade, you want to trade a strong currency versus a weak currency, and the yen, we were looking to be weaker this week, and couldn't really see strength anywhere else. I'm not a fan of trading the Swiss yen, but the Aussie yen, I can't see the Aussie being super strong, or the euro. I don't necessarily want to be buying the euro at these levels with what's happening fundamentally. So to me, the pick was the CAD yen, and now we're getting that, seeing that strength coming into the market, and there might be an opportunity there to join that little run that it's happening. Looking in the shorter time frame, you know, you're looking to get in off a strong buyer bar, which is not there at the moment. You know, maybe come back to a support zone on the shorter time frame and get a bounce off that, and trade it back up to the previous highs up here. So that's the CAD yen. Going back to the US dollar majors, what I want to talk about is the CAD itself. Has strengthened off the energy markets overnight. Found a bit of support here from these previous lows. One could look at this as a head and shoulder pattern. Will it have the strength to travel all the way across the larger range? I guess that remains to be seen, but certainly it's, when we were talking about it yesterday, we were looking around around the 50 fib level, and a bit of a support there, thereabouts, a bit of support across there. What's that, the 128 mark? And in that CAD strength, we find our opportunity on the CAD yen as well. Looking at the dollar index itself, and whilst it hasn't quite got into our zone yet, that's the ideal place where I'd want to get long. What we're seeing here is still seeing lower highs and we're still seeing lower lows. So at this stage the sellers are still dominating, although they're not doing it with much conviction, because right now we're what, an hour and a half from the close of the currency market or the new day, and it's settling at the middle of the range. So whilst it's still a seller day, being a lower high, lower low, it's not much conviction on it when it's closing in the middle. So we're not yet ready to buy it. What we want to see is the next bar being, opening around here, maybe making a similar low or a higher low, even better, and then a higher high and sort of closing in the top half of the range, preferably above the high of this bar here. And if that happens off the 50 fib, then I'll be happy to get long. But ideally I want to see that kind of price action, that swing around here off this 61.8 fib and support level, moving average. That's where I want to see it, but you don't always get what you want. You've got to trade what you see, and so when we see that buying coming in, that's when we're looking to jump in on the opportunity. Alright, thanks guys, we'll catch you next time.